mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Goodbye, everybody, I've got to go, gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, oh, I don't wanna die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, when you do the fun, done go. Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Gubby Leo, Gubby Leo, Gubby Leo, Gubby Leo, Gubby Leo, Magnifico. I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me.
He's just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from his monstrosity.
Easy come, easy go, will you let me go? Build a wall, no, we will not let you go. Build a wall, we will not let you go. Build a wall, we will not let you go. Let me go, will not let you go. Let me go, will not let you go. Let me go. No. Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go. Be as gentle as the devil would decide for me, for me, for me. So you think you can stone me and sing my life? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right out here.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of the 199, and I'm happy to see all of you here tonight. Thank you for the raid, all of the Gary Neurotic crew. I saw the nooner. We got even though it's way past the nooner, but thank you for the raid, Gary. I appreciate it. And Brock, before I even show up, drops a 50 gifted memberships. F5's in the chat. Brock has showed up. We have to get hydrated. We have 50 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. Lady Aaron D says, I see Jeremy's gray hair. My hair is getting so fucking long. I'm to a point where I may just start wearing my hat backwards. You know what? Check this out. Look at this. All right. My hat, my hair is so fucking long. It's ridiculous. Look at this shit. All right. I'm going to start Should I just start wearing my hat backwards? All right. All right. Here we go. I'm just gonna wear my hat backwards. All right. My hair is getting out of control. So it's way long right now. It's uncomfortable. And I really want to shave my head. I do. I really want to shave my head. And so I've actually worn my hat backwards before during a video, one of my most viewed videos. But not right now. Not right now. We'll go back to the regular hat. So, all right, hat's back on. There we go. God, it's crazy. I just want to take the clippers and cut that shit off. But anyway, good to see all of you here. Mikey for 5 says, I want to give a huge shout out to my best friend of 27 years. A very happy 30th birthday. Can we make that happen? Snake Pit. Of course we can. Of course we can. Let me see here. Let's see. You look so old with the hat on that way. Well, I am old. I am old. Spoiler alert. I'm an old man. Jay Skywalker says Galileo. Let's see. Vlad says, just as God let his son die, so did in Man of Steel. It's actually a deep message of sacrifice and part of man God on earth that can't fix everything. Yeah, I mean that's cope, and that's fine, but no, that's not the message that Zack Snyder was going for, unfortunately. Let's see. Did Zack Snyder also want to go with the message of just hooking up with women that you have absolutely no chemistry with whatsoever, so you can get a cringy on-screen kiss that felt so forced? Because if you believe that Lois and Clark in that movie had any chemistry whatsoever, I'm sorry, but that was pathetic. Absolutely no chemistry. Zero. Gerald Armstrong says, Biden had a malfunction today on The View. I know, we're going to watch that. Panic at Skyfaller says, close X hamster tab just for this. That is the best compliment that I have ever gotten. If you know, you know. That's a great compliment right there. You know you got a good stream going when somebody's willing to go that far, okay? Beardo's Dorito-shaped body says, can you tell Shiloh Hendricks to say the word just a few more times? I'm almost finished. Eric K says, wear a flex fit if it's backwards, you fig. AJ with a gifted membership. AJ with the gifted membership. AJ with the gifted membership. Logan with 5 gifted memberships. And Dan Vask for $3 USD. Do not give him credit for sending $100. It's $3 USD max. Okay? From his dog shit currency country. Cut your hair, hippie. Thank you, Dan Vask. GJJ, what's up, GJJ? Appreciate you, brother. Listen, man, it's been a busy day, and I just want to start off with this gold zinger from President Trump. This has got to be one of the funniest comments this man has made, and this man has made a lot of funny comments. This has got to be one of the best. My goodness, dude. I was crying after Daily ended, and I watched the whole thing, and this is the greatest thing ever. Here we go.
And when they took over Buttigieg, who has no clue, he drives to work on his bicycle with his, in all fairness, with his husband on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship.
Protect this man. Protect this man. Please protect this man. Holy shit, one more time.
And when they took over Buttigieg, who has no clue, he drives to work on his bicycle with his, in all fairness, with his husband on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship.
Is that JD Vance standing there? Like, I have to know if everybody else was just laughing their ass off. Like, Buttigieg. All right, we're going to play the whole clip one more time.
And when they took over Buttigieg, who has no clue. You know, he drives to work on his bicycle with his, in all fairness, with his husband on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship. But he didn't have a clue. This guy didn't have a clue. And he's actually a contender for president. Between him and Crockett, you can have that party. But,
Buttigieg. Woo! And we got a lot to talk about with Jasmine Crockett. We've got stuff to talk about with Scam Bondi because James O'Keefe has dropped some more information as he promised he would. We're going to go over that. Biden on The View. Old Renaissance Boomer says, go short. I cut my hair with my late dad's barber clippers. Cuts it to 2.5 millimeters. Better than shaved. Acts like Velcro to a hood when in windy weather. My entire life, I have done nothing but use a number 2 clipper every time my hair gets a little long and just buzz it off. And at my age, in my old age, I mean, I'm not going to have hair forever. So I want to let my hair grow out as long as I possibly can stand it, just to kind of see what happens, since you don't know how much longer I don't know how much longer I'm going to have it. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it until I just finally get tired of it. But Kate Banfield for $20 says, and here we are. Why? Thank you, Kate. Appreciate that. Do a mullet. I don't know what the hell my hair is going to do. Honestly, I'm not sure. Let me see. Joseph says, you believe that the DCU can recognize the liberal propaganda message Disney gives us with the MCU? Will DC capitalize? Thoughts on the new He-Man? I haven't seen anything on the new He-Man. The last He-Man thing I saw was Kevin Smith's. And I think the DCU has a lot of problems. And I hope James Gunn gives us a good Superman. I am very hopeful. I don't think he will, but I'm hoping that it's good. I don't think DC can take full advantage of Marvel's flops right now. I just don't. I think they have bigger problems. Zerb says, just a few weeks ago, Jeremy, it will be your month. You and Obama can march together. River Miles says, who would pedal if Jeremy and Ryan commuted it together by bike? Never happening. Panikin says, only reason Cheeks Booty Fudge took over Department of Transportation is because he heard he would oversee sweaty men laying pipe together. Mike Knotts says, I don't hate Man of Steel, but that is one of my criticisms, that Lois and Clark relationship was forced with no actual development just because. Yeah, it was relying on the fact that, like, well, Lois and Clark should be together because of course they should be together. It's like, no. You have to actually develop the relationship. Coop says, to the most loving, caring show ever created, I respect you for wearing Crocs at your age. Truly the most loved by all your audience. Thank you for your feminine outlooks. Hail 199 and the Snake Pit. Thank you, Coop. Appreciate that. There is a lot to go over today. There's listen, man. If this is the message for the Democrats, the Republicans are going to be in power for a long time. If this is the narrative they're going to keep going with, okay.
And it was like 2016 all over again. Yeah. So why do you think the vice president lost, and were you surprised?
No. I wasn't surprised, not because I didn't think the vice president was the most qualified person to be president. She is. She's qualified to be president of the United States of America. But I was surprised. I wasn't surprised because they went the route of the sexist route, the whole route. I mean, this is a woman. She's this, she's that. I mean, it really, I've never seen quite as successful and a consistent campaign undercutting the notion that a woman couldn't lead the country, and a woman of mixed race.
They've learned nothing. They've learned absolutely nothing, and that's going to continue to be their narrative, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with you losers continuing to run the everybody's racist and sexist narrative. That is totally fine with me. Feel free to go right on and keep doing that, because it's not going to work, because people don't buy that. People are fed up with that. That's why so many people have rejected all of this. And they're going to continue to do so. But it got worse, man. Like this today with Biden's appearance on The View, it was ugly. Let me see if I can find this clip right here. Okay, so this is a clip where Biden can't even finish the answer to the question. He's fumbling and stumbling all over himself. And Jill Biden has to step in. All right, listen to this.
Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out, deeply sourced from Democratic sources, that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities. In the final year of your presidency, what is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that. Number one. Number two, you know, think of what we're left with. We're left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started. We did not sense a civil war. We had a circumstance where we were in a position that the pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying. 1 million people dying. We're also in a situation where.
So his ability, his cognitive ability, his answer to that is we had an insurrection. In his final year as president, the reports of you on a decline, his answer to that is we had an insurrection.
We found ourselves unable to deal with a lot of just basic issues, and which I won't go into in the interest of time. And so we went to work, and we got it done. And you know, one of the things that and
Alyssa, you know, one of the things I think is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us, and they didn't see how hard Joe worked every single day. I mean, he'd get up, he'd put in a full day, and then at night I'd be in bed, you know, reading my book, and he was still on the phone reading.
That is such bullshit. Nobody believes this. Nobody believes this.
Briefings, working with staff. I mean, it was nonstop. It's the White House. Being president is not like a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a life that you live. You live it 24 hours a day. That phone can ring at 11 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning.
So essentially what we're learning here is that Joe Biden can't even answer his own questions. So his wife is having to answer questions for him because he's too far gone. Thank you for confirming exactly what we all already knew.
Morning. It's constant. You never leave it. And Joe worked really hard. I think he was a great president. And if you look at things today, give me Joe Biden anytime. And just
I didn't mean to pause it there, but it's just so good. He just pooped. This man just pooped his pants live on The View. That is a face of a man that has just pooped his pants and he's happy about it. That is fantastic. Atomic Patriot with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Atomic Patriot. Appreciate that. Molar Rep says, before you shave your hair next time, cut a Mr. T hairdo and show us how it looks on stream. You'll see it before I cut it. I will try to. I'm not going to make that as 100% promise, but my intent is to show it before I do ultimately cut it. So River Miles says, Joe's looking like a spring chicken up there with the View hags. Jeremy the Cyborg. What's up, Jeremy the Cyborg? Says 12 minutes behind, but here. Thank you, brother. Good to see you here. Z Herb says, if India and Pakistan go to war, what should it be called? Great Poo Wars. If nukes are involved, will we get let's see. What of poo storms, these are real concerns. I like the 7-Eleven versus 9/11. Like, that's the best one I've heard. 7-Eleven versus 9/11. That's easily the best one. Kate says this motherfucker worked so hard, so his office was on the beach. I wish I had that job. Don't we all? Don't we all? But yeah, 7-Eleven versus 9/11 is easily the best one that I have heard up to this point. So we'll stick with that one right there. Stream cutting. Let's see. What's it at? Stream the cutting with Krista doing the cutting and Beardo doing the commentary. I mean, that might be a good idea. That might be a good idea. World War Poo is better. That's a pretty good one, too. I didn't know it was gay for $1. Okay, so anyway, Joe Biden is a complete train wreck. We know that. No one is surprised by that at all. And it's been a pretty big disaster watching that all play out. Now, we had this clip. Where's it at? If I can find it. We had a clip from Bill Gates. If I can find it. Here we go. So apparently Bill Gates says Doge will cost 2 million lives, and we're going to play that. Dark Schwartz rising for 20 says Whoopi once said Jill Biden should be our Surgeon General because she's a wonderful doctor. IDOTs galore. Good Lord. That bullshit. You know what? I almost trust Dr. Fauci over Dr. Jill Biden, meaning I don't trust either one of them. That's no compliment to Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci. Panic at Skyfallers says Trump had the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer on TV on the phone, ball washing him for their ideal absolute victory. The media is seething. Yes, they are. Z Herb says thoughts on the new Pope. I've thought long and hard about this question because it's been going on, and actually because I normally don't do this, but I normally I'm off fire off the hip with my answers. I don't really write anything down or take any notes, but with the new Pope situation, I knew I was going to get this question, so I did prepare a little statement. So let me pull it up. So I wrote some notes up for it. And this is something I never do, but I take certain situations I take very seriously. And so I did take some notes on this. Okay, here it is right here. So I want everybody to understand that I understand the severity of the situation. So when it comes to the new Pope, here's my notes really quick. Let me prop them up right here. I don't give a fuck. Thank you. So that's really my thoughts on it. I don't give a fuck about the Pope. I'm not going to pretend to care about the Pope. I don't care. I never have cared about the Pope. It's never something that's been interesting to me. I know people put a big deal on all of that, and not for me, really. The Pope is just a hired gun, essentially, from a bunch of people that pretend that they're better than everyone else. I've heard a lot of criticism about the new Pope, about his comments about Trump and Vance and all of that. Donald Trump seems to be happy that he's an American. He's the first American Pope. But for me personally, I don't give a shit. I think most of them are corrupt as hell personally, but that's just my opinion on it. But thank you. I appreciate it. How many of you knew that's where I was going? How many of you knew that's where I was going with that? Don't insult us Catholics. Well, I didn't insult you Catholics. I insulted the powerful people at the top of the food chain. And I often do that in almost every aspect of companies and politics, and I'll continue to do that. I can say that the people that are running Nintendo are corrupt as hell. Does that mean I'm, not going to support Nintendo because I like their products? No. I can say that the NFL is run by corrupt people. It doesn't mean that I don't like certain NFL players or if I dislike the fans. So yes, the top of the food chain, in any religious, cult, I would say. I'm going to call it a company. It's a cult, or a company. It's a business. That's what it is. I remember years ago. Now, I have my own personal beliefs, and I keep those things personal because, and again, people are going to misconstrue what I say. I am not taking shots at anybody that talks about their own religion or whatever. Me personally, I've always found it to be mega cringe to get on social media and talk about your position on religion and preaching to everybody else on social media about your religion. I think it's mega cringe. I do have my own personal beliefs, and the people that know me best know what my personal beliefs are, and I keep it at that. But I'm very much organized religion is nothing more than a scam for corrupt people to pretend that they are holier than thou so that they can make a lot of money and pretend that they care about people. But they're just businessmen is all they are. And that's the truth of the matter. Organized religion is a fucking scam. And I remember years ago, you know, I've told this story before. I went to my parents, you know, they were living somewhere, and you know, I came to visit them, and they were just like, "Oh, you got to go to church. You got to go to church with us. There's this new preacher. He's amazing. He's amazing." And I'm like, I not really, you know, but I did. I went with the family, you know, we went to church, and this preacher was there, Southern Baptist Church. And this preacher was on fire. I mean, this dude had charisma coming out of everything. Like, this dude was a charisma machine. He had the energy going in the church. Everybody, even me, man, I was like, let's go. I'm feeling the Holy Spirit right now. Let's go. Like, I was hyped. And so after the service, you know, like, did you see? You should come meet him. You should come meet him. Met him, you know. Yeah, hey, yeah, I mom, dad, yeah, he was great. He was great. He's good at what he does. And then what do you mean he's good at what he does? I'm like, he's good at what he does. I'm not going to take that away from him. But he's just another flawed human being. He's no better than me, you, or anyone else. He's just another flawed human being who's prancing around like he has a direct line to God. But he's just good at what he does. And they were like, no, he's this. I was like, look, Elton John is good at what he does, okay? And when he gets done, he goes and sucks a dick because he's gay as fuck, all right? He's not a man of God. He's good at what he does, all right? But that doesn't mean that he has anything special about him. He's just a talented individual. Years later, this preacher got busted sleeping with I think the lead choir guy with his wife, and it was a whole scandal in the fucking church. And I'm like, I told you. So those that preached the loudest have the most to hide. This guy was my big problem with organized religion. Again, I don't have a problem with religion. I have my own beliefs, and I respect everyone else's beliefs. But people that are like the Joel Osteens of the world and those corrupt people, I just consider them to be con men. That's what I am. That's my opinion on it. I respect if you disagree with me or whatever. But anybody that is paid to preach, I don't care what they have to say. That's why when I hear stories of people that are not necessarily known to be Christians and they talk about a powerful Christian message or a powerful moment where they found God, those moments mean more to me than a person that gets paid to tell me how much they love God. And I talked about that when there's a moment in the movie Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, which is one of the greatest movies of all time. And there's a moment with Denzel at the school that the young girl goes to, and he's talking to one of the ladies there, and he recites a verse in the Bible. He's talking about, I think, like the verse was, you know, I am the sheep that God lost, or something like that. I can't remember what the line was, but that moment hit so hard because Denzel has been through hell in life. He's done horrible things in life. He's done unspeakable things in his job. And at this point in life, he's searching for his faith. He's searching for God. And that is powerful stuff to me. Broken people, or people that know that they have flaws and need to find that stuff speaks to me more than the guy that pretends that his life is perfect and he's telling you how you need to live your life to be perfect. Mike Zero Source for $20. It says, thanks again for letting me vent. I've with the VA counselor, I've talked with a VA counselor regarding my nightmares from Iraq. I'm asking my fellow veterans to seek out support. Suicide is not the answer, no matter how hard the nightmares haunt us. You know what? Prayers up and respect in the chat for anybody that has served our country. I have the utmost respect for you and your families that have had to deal with it. I also have great respect for police officers, first responders, anybody that's willing to do a job to keep your local community safe. I have the utmost respect for sure. And thank you, Mike Zero Source. I appreciate you, brother. Keep us posted. Keep us posted. Snake Pit's got your back, man. I'm not going to pretend that I understand what you're going through because I can't, but I appreciate you making the sacrifices for the rest of us. Jeff Hill says, who do you think really was giving the orders or in charge? It wasn't Joe. I still think it was Obama that was pulling the strings. I mean, I think it's kind of I think there's several people involved with it, but I think Obama is definitely one of the main pieces to the puzzle. But I think there's people. I didn't make this statement. Somebody else made this statement a long time ago, but it's the most accurate description. The people that are really pulling the strings, we don't know their name. We only know the front people, the people that are at the forefront. We don't know who really, really, really is pulling the strings. There's people that we will never hear their names for a reason. So, Z-Herb says, the funniest thing for me with the Pope situation is the AI Trump Pope image. It made so many of the left angry. Same with who always hate on Christians was now calling for respecting Christians. This is the Trump effect, man. So all of these lefties are always hating on Christianity. And, I believe separating any beliefs that I may or may not have, but like I've been kind of in and out of my beliefs over the years. Going through different things in life makes you question faith and, you drift away from it. You come back to it, all of this. But, ultimately, I think that if you're an objective person in the United States of America, I can't speak for other countries and other cultures and all of that. But if you're being objective, I think that a base foundation of Christianity is a very good way to raise children and raise a family. Now, once those kids get to a certain age, they're obviously welcome to start believing the things that they want, but that foundation is crucial in my opinion. And I think that's the best way to go. Jared the American says, do you know who Rod Parsley is? Play some clips, please. I don't know the name. JRG Projects. The Indian military took out the fugitive who beheaded American journalist Daniel Pearl. He was living in Pakistan, and apparently Hamas is involved in these attacks. This isn't government versus government. It's India versus militants. Well, obviously both of these, Pakistan and India are both nuclear powers. I think they're probably on the low end of the nuclear powers in the world. I speculated the other day, I think there's like 10 nuclear powered countries, I think, that have nuclear capabilities. I could be wrong about that. It could be a few more, a few less. But I'm sure that, President Trump's already made a public statement about it. And I'm sure that he and Secretary Hegseth are very much following the situation. And I trust both of these guys to get involved if we need to get involved. But at this point in time, I don't see any reason, based on the information I have, for us to get involved in anything. Jeff Hill says it's always a great show. Go Trump. Thank you. I appreciate it. Zenny Biscuit says, I love my new Papa Leo. Check out the X account, Pope Respecter, if you want to know what he's all about. Media is already lying about him, more conservative than Trump. I mean, I've heard some stuff. I'm not here to hate on the guy or whatever. If he builds a good relationship with Trump and it works well, then that's fine for me. I've seen a lot of reaction for the new Pope for sure. But it is what it is for me. All right. So we got to talk about our main topic. Attorney General Pam Bondi, somebody I've criticized very heavily because of her handling of the Epstein files. And now James O'Keefe, a day after pissing off a lot of people, to be fair, he's now dropped some juicy details right here. Let's play the clip. Pam Bondi is in some hot water.
Yesterday, Attorney General of the United States Pam Bondi was at the White House and disclosed what she represented as brand new information in relation to Jeffrey Epstein, the existence of tens of thousands of videos featuring little children.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly acknowledged that videos of Epstein and his victims exist. What you may not know is just 9 days prior, the Attorney General had a very similar conversation with a total stranger in a restaurant.
Oof! A total stranger. You're the Attorney General of the United States of America, working for President Trump, and you're having random conversations with strangers? Who is this? Hang on. Elad said Jeremy was clickbait. Who's Elad? I don't know who that is. Yeah, this is really clickbait with CobraCast 199, man. I've really clickbaited everybody. I don't know who that is, though. But you sure he's talking? Is this the quartering thing? Is this the whole quartering thing that happened? He's not talking about me. I think it's, yeah. It's the quartering. Yeah, I'm not clickbait enough. Quartering 100% is. By the way, quartering unfollowed me on Twitter. I told you he was tired of me talking shit about Rumble. Quartering finally unfollowed me on Twitter. I knew it was going to happen.
Do you know when the Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. FBI been.
Okay.
So
Any dates?
no, you know what it is? There are tens of thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids, so they have to go through every one.
In the past, officials have spoken about the, quote, mountain of evidence in the Epstein case, but they've never, previous to that moment, acknowledged on the existence of videos of, quote, little kids. Just a few days later, at 2 p.m. on May 1st, our reporter sent the AG's office the text of the recording. We asked why this detail had not been disclosed to the public, but was instead being told to a random stranger at a restaurant. The Attorney General used almost the exact same language as she did with the stranger in the restaurant, language that we shared with her press office.
There are tens of thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all
Volume's low. I can't do anything about the volume. So I do apologize. So Ivan Ortega dropped a diss track on you, Jeremy. I saw Ivan's video. You know, my biggest flaw as a businessman and as a YouTuber is that I trust people to keep things between us, and I don't have I don't make people sign NDAs. People can say whatever the fuck they want. So Ivan basically accused me of clickbaiting while clickbaiting about me. And I guess I don't know what, there's nothing in the video that's damning. But when I get rid of people, I never talk about it publicly. I just try to let that go under the radar. I don't want to throw any shade on anybody, because why do that? And so, but when you see people needing to get attention on their channel, I guess clickbaiting me is part of it. So whatever. But yeah, there's nothing in that video that's damning or anything. He basically says Jeremy didn't want me to edit for him anymore, so he got rid of me. Yes, I did.
all with little kids. There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, we hesitated to publish this story, but believe, like we did yesterday, that the public has a right to know. And this one raises serious questions. On one hand, why did our country's highest law enforcement official share this information first, not with the American people, but with a self-described nanny at brunch?
That is a crucial question that, man, Trump needs to deal with this, man. Trump needs to get rid of her immediately. Now, here's my question, okay? Because I don't know the answer to this question. So obviously, now that Trump has his full cabinet, if he was to replace Pam Bondi, would her successor have to go through the same approval process that she did? And if that's the case, could it be Matt Gaetz? Okay, yes. Okay. So, is there any way that Matt Gaetz could actually be the Attorney General? Because that's the guy that needs to be in that situation, but I don't know if they would vote him in. But a recess, that's right, a recess appointment could be made too. This is true. This is true. All right, let's back this up a little bit.
Now, we hesitated to publish this story, but believe, like we did yesterday, that the public has a right to know. And this one raises serious questions. On one hand, why did our country's highest law enforcement official share this information first, not with the American people, but with a self-described nanny at brunch? But more importantly, why was this information held back in the first place? Does this show that a government apparatus is still working behind the scenes to protect powerful people involved in the scandal? Based upon the response to our Epstein story yesterday, it's clear that the American people want answers, and they want accountability.
I'm very glad that James O'Keefe has put her on blast. She needed to be put on blast, and I hope that this will put the pressure on the Trump administration to deal with her. I don't like her. I don't trust her. I don't think that she is built for this position at all. And the Epstein, binders and all of that shit, like that should have been a clear indicator to everyone, Trump included. But of course, we got to call a spade a spade. Trump approved all that crap. He approved all of it. He was there. So I don't know, man. I don't like her, and I'm glad that she's getting exposed. Let's see here. Archer Blade says, it's what I've feared. I think the new Pope is a Sith Lord. A Sith Lord. Heartbreaker says, I agree with how corruption spares no one, including the papacy, and there's worse popes historically. Pope Urban II was one of them. Panic of Skyfaller says, our tenor got a good throat honor. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like I want people to understand, like, my opinion, my general opinion on all religion is that, you're welcome to believe whatever you want, and I'm welcome to believe whatever I want. I don't think there's any sense in arguing or fighting over something like that because, we all have our beliefs, and when we are no longer here, we'll all find out what the answers are and who was right and who was wrong. But I don't think that there's anything beneficial to fighting about that. Taker says, the new statue in Times Square doesn't like your opinions, Jeremy. She ain't going to let you on her plane either. That statue is cringe, man. June's Melody says, is there anything I don't agree with Jeremy on? No. That's a scary that you don't say that. There's definitely some, okay? There's definitely some. There's got to be. Eric K says, MLM, mods lives matter, Jeremy. John Kennedy for 20 says, honestly, I'm rather unimpressed with the info on these undercover videos from O'Keefe, but part of me thinks O'Keefe is making it clear in a subtle way of who he can get close to. Perhaps that will scare the deep state. I hope so. I think that right now, I do think that the expectations for the Trump administration are astronomically high in so many different places. And, you just look at the difference in how things are now versus how they were this time last year, going back to 2021. Things move so fast that we don't have time to appreciate anything. Like it's like anything else. Have you ever driven through your neighborhood? And then have you ever walked through your neighborhood? Well, when you drive through your neighborhood, you're not paying attention to anything but the road in front of you. But if you walk or ride a bike, you're going to start to notice all these little things that you didn't notice before. Like, oh, that's cool. I didn't notice this. Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh, that's cool. Because you're not moving super fast or focused on one particular thing. Social media makes everything move so fucking fast. Everything. Every day we wake up and there's like 10,000 news stories and we're all fired up over it. Like, and then the next day we wake up, there's 10,000 news stories and we're all fired up over it. So we don't take enough time to appreciate how much Trump has done because we're so focused on the next thing he needs to do. And he's done a lot, and he's continuing to do a lot every single day. But there's always something more we want and we need, and I'm fine with that. That's a standard that we have implemented as MAGA and his supporters that we demand. But losing focus of how much he's done, we gotta realize that sometimes. June's Melody says Trump should tell Pam, "You're fired." By the way, The Celebrity Apprentice is now on Amazon. So you got the first 6 or 7 seasons of The Apprentice, and now it's moved into The Celebrity Apprentice, which is awesome. The Celebrity Apprentice is great. So I'm glad that we're getting that. American Advocate says, agreed. It's separation of church and state, not separation of church from state. The church is supposed to keep society morally decent. By the way, you're a fig. Thank you. Eric K says, Jeremy does not clickbait. He masturbates. Well, we all do. Mike Zero Source says, at Dalton Fury says, I was in 97B. What's your MOS? Jared the American says, look up Rod Parsley Jubilee highlights. Grifter. I'll look him up, but I don't like doing that on camera. Like, I need to, like, for the first time. I don't know who I'm looking up. So I don't want to get like my copyright strike or whatever. Some of these people will take you down. Fantastic Knox says, new Pope looks like episode 1 of Palpatine. Like Joe Rogan, you can't react to Joe Rogan full clips because like they have an automated system in place that like claims you and takes you down. I don't think as bad as it used to be, but it used to be terrible with Joe Rogan clips. Let me see. Too High Strung says, we are never getting Epstein answers. All of the jibber jabber aside is not going to happen. If enough pressure gets put out there, I believe it could. Basket City with a member message, Jeremy the Cyborg for 50. Says, at Mike Zero Source, I hear you. It took me going through hell and back with family, life, and work to discover just how broken my service made me. If you served, go to the VA. It's better to discover now than when shit goes to hell. Wise words from Jeremy the Cyborg. Greatly appreciate that. And appreciate, again, all of you guys and gals out there that served. And there's times like I'll just go up and, shake people's hands sometimes, just like, hey, thank you. I mean, I don't know if that makes, service members and police officers feel good or not. I have no idea, but I don't know if it's corny or cringy from their perspective. I don't know, but I do appreciate it. Jimmy Hoop says, rappers destroyed the black community the most. Fantastic Mr. Knox says, so Bill Gates has shut down his foundation. I wonder why. Benny did a video on it. Thoughts? Well, I actually have this video pulled up of Bill Gates right here where he says Doge will cost 2 million lives right here.
Now with these cuts, if they're not reversed, we'll go to over 6 million dying. So instead of going down, we'll go back up.
Wow. So it's a difference of 2 million lives.
Absolutely.
Bill Gates is such a corrupt piece of shit, dude. Like, he is so incredibly corrupt. It's out of this world how corrupt he is, and gets away with it. He should be one of the most hated individuals on the planet. He absolutely should. He should be right up there with Dr. Fauci. So we did get this right here. from Defense Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Here we go. There you go, ladies.
Here at the Defense Department, we continue to relentlessly pursue the president's agenda, especially on readiness. He put out an executive order a week into his presidency, stating the prioritizing military excellence and readiness, that expressing a false gender identity divergent from an individual's sex cannot satisfy the rigorous standards necessary for military service. We agree, and so we implemented that policy. It was challenged in court, and of course, we appealed. And 2 days ago at the Supreme Court, our policy was upheld. And so we're going to continue to advance that policy here at the Defense Department. So, in accordance with policy now reinstated, service members who have a current diagnosis or history of or exhibit symptoms consistent with gender dysphoria.
Let's go. Get them out. Get them out.
May elect to separate voluntarily. There's a timeline here, and then eventually involuntarily if necessary. This is the president's agenda. This is what the American people voted for, and we're going to continue to relentlessly pursue it. Here at the
Let's freaking go. Get them out. Get them out. Love that. I love that this president has a team that will back him up. John freaking Murdoch for 50 says, wow, a Thursday stream. What an unexpected surprise. Pleasure. Hail Jeremy Prime, Mage of the 199. Thank you, John freaking Murdoch. Let's go with the 50. Thank you. Amenti says, sometimes a civilian wizard at the VA doesn't get you, but what helps is being around people in your therapy group who know what you've been through. Stay strong, brother. Look at that, man. I love all this, man. This is great stuff, man. Great stuff. I personally, again, I'm speaking as a person that's never had to go through the horrors of, doing military duty or anything like that. But I've never personally, again, I want to preface this. I personally do not believe in therapy for me, because in terms of when I say this, I mean, I'm not going to go pay somebody that went to college, because I believe most of them are corrupt. But I'm hoping that we have people that have actually been through things in the VA, and I don't know this for sure, that actually can help soldiers and people with PTSD and things like that. But I also feel that therapy can come from your friends. Therapy can come from a community like the 199 or the Snake Pit or something like that. That type of therapy I do believe in, by the way. I'm just saying, like, the paid psychiatrists that their job is to keep me coming back every day, because the more that I come back, the more they get paid. I'm not really a fan of that. Like, well, wait, if you fix me, you don't need me anymore, right? So you wouldn't you be motivated to keep me fucked up? But in the VA, obviously, I believe that there's a ton of people that they could be helping. So the motivation wouldn't necessarily be to, let's just keep people in the rotation. The job would be, we have a lot of people we need to, help. So let's do a good job. Fantastic Snuck says, so Bill, I got that one. Fentanyl Floyd says, FBI is destroying Epstein docs to cover up the fact that he was turned into a government asset. That's what they don't want made public. Yeah, see, that's what bothers me. I never like the whole, we're reviewing the documents before we can make them public. We want to protect the victims. That's I believe that as much as I believe it was a training exercise excuse. It was a training exercise, guys. We had 10 soldiers die, and it was just a training exercise. And I'm like, you're reviewing to protect the victims. What about potential future victims that are out there right now that are being surrounded by people that you have documentation on that could be preying on future victims right now? How about let's not create any new victims? The victims, unfortunately, are already fucked up enough, and the best thing you can do for them probably is to give them some justice, a little bit of justice. Let's see. You can't release videos with children, genius. Well, Sean, I didn't fucking say that. There's information that can be released right now that is in those Epstein documents that could be beneficial to stop future victims from being harmed. That is a fact. But they have to review all of it before they can release any of it. That doesn't make sense. McHawk says, how Jeremy takes out economy farts. Ugh. Mike Zero Source says, Jeremy the Cyborg, God bless you, brother. Maybe we can compare notes on healing. I wish you a peaceful life, brother. That's awesome right there, man. Let's see. L Wing says, Doge will cost 2 million lives, huh? Wouldn't Gates be for it then? Hasn't he been saying the world is overpopulated? Yes, he has. Jeff Hill says, I agree with you. Shows like yours and other streams shows that I watch help me during some down times. Hell yeah, man. And I'm not here to say I am anything. Like the goal of my show is to maybe bring people together, and you'll find someone a lot smarter than me to help you through anything you're going through. I'm just a retard with the camera on me. So I'm not here in any capacity to say I can help outside of just maybe I can help by showing you how retarded I am and making you feel better about yourself. Because that's the biggest benefit I can give you. When you watch my show and you're like, I got a lot of problems in life, but that guy's fucked up. I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. That's the way you should look at it. McCox says, watching Jeremy is more painful than cutting yourself. Hydro, I always struggle with this. Hydrocoptic. FYI, your episode count is still at 199. Love you. I didn't know his case says Jeremy Beardo needs therapy. Chat's fault. Eric K says it takes a man's man to wear Crocs and ripped jeans. Jeremy is that man. I haven't worn jeans in several months because it's Florida, baby. We wear shorts. That's all we do in Florida, man. Greg Tank says I saw on X Trump appoints Judge Janine as interim U.S. attorney for D.C. I actually have that video pulled up right here. Judge Janine is working with the Trump administration. Here we go. Right here. Boom. Look at this.
Just minutes ago, one of the co-hosts of The Five, Judge Janine Pirro, will be appointed interim United States Attorney for the District of Columbia. President Trump announced that on Truth Social just moments ago. Janine was Assistant District Attorney for Westchester County, New York, and then went on to serve as County Judge and District Attorney, where she was the first woman ever to be elected to those positions. She will be leaving Fox to take this position, and we obviously wish her well.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
that's awesome, man. Judge Janine's great. So love seeing that. Love President Trump bringing awesome people into the fold. So great to see indeed. So Darth Maddox says, as a former Leo, yes, the appreciation is nice to get from people. The non-glory chasers deserve it more, though. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Okay, this was the clip. I guess I have not watched this clip, but I bookmarked it right here. MSNBC is sad to report that the U.S. has reached a trade deal with the UK, and it's a big political win for Trump.
You look for what's most likely. Most likely those trade deals are going to come from leaders that he's more comfortable with, and he certainly, again, says he's very comfortable with Keir Starmer.
Yeah, no question there. For President Trump, diplomacy is very personal. I mean, there's a degree of that for most presidents, but this one in particular, it's really whether or not he likes you. We know there have been foreign leaders he very much did not like. He did not care for Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada. But this is going to be a political win for the White House, Mika. President Trump up very early this morning, posting around 5:30 in the morning. We've heard from him a couple times already today about this. They're going to have an event at 10 o'clock. He's going to hold a news conference along with it. This is going to be something that they recognize. White House aides have told me for a while. It's been turbulent since so-called Liberation Day. They've seen the markets bounce back some, but there's a lot of economic worries. They needed to start delivering deals. This is the first.
They are so unhappy that President Trump is doing exactly what he said he was going to do, that all of his, all of his policies are working out. The tariffs are working out, everything. Wait a second. Steve Bannon predicted last week that American Cardinal would succeed. Let's see. Listen to this. Freaking Steve Bannon. Here we go.
Dark horses. I do think one of the dark horses, and I think unfortunately he's one of the most progressive, is Cardinal Prevost. I don't think he's getting enough play. He's certainly on the short list as being, and I think it's pretty shocking given how the contempt they hold the American church. The American church gives so much money, they're afraid it has too much power. So they've never really wanted to have an American pope. But my understanding is Prevost is one of the ones closest to Francis ideologically. He's also had tremendous experience in Latin America. And so he's one of the ones on the short list. I'm a big believer that Cardinal Sarah from Africa would be a perfect selection right now for this moment in the church. But I will tell everybody, this is anybody's game right now between Parolin, one of the traditionalists. You have no earthly idea how this is going to turn out. That's why I think this run up is so important. And it's interesting that it's ironic. It's going to take place. It's going to kick off, I think, on the either the day of or the day before the 80th anniversary of victory in Europe. So it's very symbolic.
Steve Bannon ahead of the curve once again. You know who's not ahead of the curve? And again, I need everybody to understand this is the future of the Democratic Party. What we're about to see in just a minute. Andrew Pfeiffer 50 says Kanye West's new song sparks thoughts on his mental health and creativity. It's his bold marketing genius with his outrage of marketing or sign of struggle. Not judging, but his talent shines through. He made Hail H catchy. I personally have not even heard the song yet. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, but I mean, look, as a person that's listened to a lot of rap music from back in the day, and I've listened to some Kanye, do I think Kanye is a great artist? Yes. Do I think that he's like one of the greatest artists of all time? No. I mean, he's good. He's really good, but I don't think he's that good. So, but I liked a lot of his earlier stuff for sure. But no, I think he gets way too much praise. And I think he gets the praise because he praises himself so much, which I respect. But I don't think he's that great. I mean, I think people like Tupac and Rakim, those are some of the greats. And even Eminem before he lost his balls, Eminem has been so cucked. It's hard to even process how cucked Eminem has become. Yeah, anyway. Thank you, Andrew. I will check it out, though. I will check it out. Darth Man, I got that one. Chester the Wolf says, there are still deep state operations being run in Trump's administration. All you can do is try and purge them. Can't get them all. It's a dirty business, man. Politics is a dirty, dirty business. Let me see. Piano Dean says Biden was asked about Pope Francis's passing. He insisted the pontiff is still sharp and focused and just had a bad night. All right. I apologize for what you're about to hear, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize in advance. Here we go. This is the future of the Democratic Party, ladies and gentlemen, right here. This is the future of the Democratic Party.
They try to act like, oh, political violence, it's the Democrats and it's the liberals. And it's like, actually, I mean, I'm not going to say that like a left-leaning person cannot be violent, because that would be like crazy to say that somebody can't be. But baby, y'all got the white supremacists galore, okay? Like all of them. You got the Proud Boys, you got the neo-Nazis. You have people that literally should be classified as domestic terrorists, because a lot of times that is what they are doing. They're engaging in domestic terrorism. And guess what? They all align with your side. Yeah. Including the KKK. So like, I mean, this is who aligns with that. So like inherently in like who you are, y'all are violent. Like right. Y'all, and most of your violence has to do with people that's got a little bit of melanin. But nevertheless, like y'all are a violent group of people. Like you attract violent actors. And like, I'm sorry. I know they tried to make Black Lives Matter out to be the most violent. What about Black Lives Matter? No. So that's the thing. Like,
that is a wild. That is the future of the Democratic Party right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's who they're going to try and put everything behind. I got, like, in the words of a great philosopher, this is a great philosopher. I'm not going to quote the great philosopher. I'm going to let the great philosopher say the quote himself. Here we go.
Fuck these people.
Thank you, Philosopher Jones. A great Philosopher Jones. He puts it far more eloquently than I can, so we'll just let him do it. Good Lord, man. The Democratic Party is fucked. I mean, between Bernie, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, wait, what is this? Wait a minute. James Carville is telling Ilhan Omar to leave the Democratic Party? What? What are we doing here? Hang on. What?
Lady, why don't you just get out the Democratic Party? Honestly, start your own movement. All right, let's do the simple math. And probably 69%, I don't know, we could call Jim Gerstein or Jeff Garrett. Roughly 69% of the people going to vote in November, maybe more. Let's do 70 for just round math.
This is old.
Are going to be white.
This
of
is
that,
old.
48%, maybe a little more, are going to be male. So that's roughly, let's just call it 33 1/3% of the entire election. Well, let's just run against them because that's so goddamn smart. All right. So now we're going to have a campaign by the progressive left against white men who vote about a third of everybody that votes in an election. Why don't you, lady, start your own party? And then when it's over, if you want to caucus with the Democrats, fine. We agree with a lot of.
Gary shaved his beard. It said, this is why Twitters are getting on my nerves. It says it right here. New James Carville tells Ilhan Omar to leave the Democratic Party after her comments attacking white men resurfaced. This sounds like this is before the election.
Things that you do, but we don't believe we ought to be running against white men. In fact, we don't think we ought to be running against any gender, any ethnic group, any race, any religion, or anything else. God damn, these people are just helpless. They cannot be helped. There's nothing you can do to help them. They don't want to be helped. And if they had any guts, they'd start their own goddamn political party and get out of ours.
It's still a funny clip, but it's 100% not new. Well, I mean, again, it doesn't sound new because it sounds like he was talking about the November election. Let's see. I don't know. I mean, they're acting like, hang on. The article says it's like today from the Daily Caller. I don't know. Oh, so they're saying that this video resurfaced or her video. Well, either way, it didn't sound like it was just happening. So, but it's still funny and it's still a good clip. So we will take it. We will take it. Okay. Let's see. I thought he said November though. Didn't he say November? He's talking about the 26th. He's talking about 26. Okay. Oh, well. Omar's interview was in 2018. Okay. Well, either way, it was funny. Regardless as to when it was, if it's new, it's funny. If it's old, it's funny. And Ilhan Omar is not a good person. I'll just say that. Not a good person. Fantastic Knox says, if Crockett stopped talking ghetto, maybe people would take her seriously. Yet here we are, and Democrats like her talking ghetto. This is embarrassing. Eddie M says, get that hood off my screen, bro. Nips Litter says, hey, Jeremy, remember Geeks for Harris? What a fail. That was a massive fail. Piano Dean says, is it me or does James Carville look like somebody washed a Muppet on hot? Let's see. Is it Dezenia says the alphabet agencies have spent decades collecting blackmailing material on powerful people. That power goes away when the names are released. It's true. Mike Zero Source says, I love G and F as well as the Snake Pit. How long, let's see, do you hang on. How long do you take to show prep? Second question. Are you happy doing YouTube? I don't show prep ever. My show prep is I bookmark shit that I find interesting because the things that I talk about are the things that I'm already interested in. So I don't prep to make myself sound. Most YouTubers that are very successful are scared to let you believe that they don't know everything. They also try to put themselves in a like perfect kind of box to make it seem like they don't say and they like to have everything overly prepared because they want to make sure that they know the answer to every question so that they don't seem like they're stupid. I don't prep. If I know the answer to a question, I'll answer it. If I don't, I'll say, I don't know. I don't try to build this kind of image about myself other than I am who I am. And I'm not saying it's wrong for other people to do the way they do things, but overly produced stuff, I think, is not why people like YouTube. Some overly produced stuff works, but generally speaking, people like more authentic stuff on YouTube. So, yeah, my lack of show prep is allows me to do other stuff, I guess. But yeah, I just bookmark shit. I see some videos. I follow the news cycle, and I talk about what I'm interested in. And that applies to Geeks and Gamers as well. I only talk about what I'm interested in. You know, people can accuse me of rage baiting and going after negative news stories. There's only negativity to talk about in the entertainment industry for the most part. That's it. And when there is positive stuff, it ain't worth talking about because nobody fucking cares. But I also get accused of being a Nintendo shill and a Christopher Nolan homer. So I guess I am putting some positivity out there as well. At the end of the day, there's only negativity, generally speaking, in the entertainment industry because that's what they're producing. Stop producing dog shit, and I won't talk about dog shit. But they won't do that. Let's see. And am I happy doing YouTube? Yes. I'm happier in my, I'm happier in my personal and professional life, more happy than I've ever been. Everything is great. Is that because of YouTube or not? I don't know. I have good family. I have a good, support system. I have good friends, and I'm the luckiest guy in the world to do what I do. So, but YouTube can be very stressful. It's all a matter of how you handle it. But I think I know what you meant by that. G&G, not GNF. I know. But yeah, I am very happy doing YouTube. I want Geeks and Gamers to be more than just a YouTube channel and a YouTube network, and that's the goal I've always tried to accomplish. But I have learned the hard way that takes an ungodly amount of money, and people can look at me and think that, oh, he's rolling in the dough and he's all the. I am not rolling in the dough. I have a comfortable life, but I put as much money as I can back into everything that we're trying to build. It is so expensive to run a company and to scale a company. And I personally have failed a lot from that perspective. I've tried to scale up many times to take it beyond what it's at, and I have failed a lot at that. But it's not from a lack of trying. It's that it just things are so expensive. The bigger you're trying to go, it's so expensive. It really is. Eric K says, what's your take on Austin Powers movie when Dr. Evil's pants were pulled down and he had a P. Diddy tattoo on his ass? God, I wish the P. Diddy trial was televised because holy crap. I really do. But it's not. Brian Stewart says, Quartering unfollowed you because you didn't buy coffee. If you guys remember this, do you guys remember on CobraCast, I said about 3 weeks ago, I said the Quartering is probably sick of my shit because all I do is comment and I say something negative in his replies. I don't mean to. He just says shit that I disagree with. So, and my negative stuff about Rumble really did piss him off too. So I was like, he's probably tired of my shit. And he unfollowed me. So I'm still following him. But yeah, he unfollowed. He's like, fuck this guy, man. I'm tired of his shit. I respect it, though. I respect it. Grant Potato says, is it possible that Cash and Bondi serving as distractions? There are things going on that we don't see. I'm not trying to run interference for them. I don't think so. I think that Pam Bondi was a bad hire. I know that there's some controversy with Cash Patel right now, too. And I can't speak enough on that one because I haven't been following that much. But if it's I'm going to take it at face value that they're both just bad hires if that's what it comes to. So Jeremy, violence is a serious issue. Oh man, let's see here. No, but Quartering's a great guy. I got nothing against the Quartering. He's always done right by me on the YouTube front, so I got no beef with him. But I'm not upset that he unfollowed me. Let's see here. What is this? We got that one. Now, I wanted to pull this video up really quick. Give me just a second. Where is it at? Videos, at that one, at that one. Okay. Biden on The View. Here we go. Right here. Here we go.
Poor memory is on. The elderly man with a poor memory is on a rehab tour. Joe Biden escaping the nursing home this morning and shuffling his way over for a little chit chat with the lovely ladies of The View. Watch this.
I guess they like you. They miss you. Yeah. I miss you.
I miss being here.
Yeah.
I'm actually interviewing for a job as a cameraman.
We just marked last week Trump's 100th day in office. Now he's calling for investigations and claiming the pardons are void and vacant.
Oh, he's vacant.
Why is he so fixated on you and blaming you for everything?
I beat him.
Did you? Old man Joe also grumbling about the coup and the veep who failed him.
I think she's first rate. But we have a lot of really good candidates as well.
Why do you think the vice president lost, and were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised. They went the route of the sexist route, the whole route. I mean, this is a woman.
Some have even argued that leaving the race and endorsing your Vice President Harris, over 100 days before the election hampered her campaign.
There were still 6 full months.
In 6 full months, she was fully funded.
God, the fact that they put this man on national TV and they're trying to convince you, everyday people out there, that this man was okay, only confirms that he was not okay.
Tom Shalhoub never looked so good. But enough with the malarkey. Let's bring out the real former president.
Hey,
the people who wrote.
Hang on. Is Dan Vask still here in the chat? This sounds like Dan Vask impersonating Joe Biden.
There were still 6 full months.
In 6 full months, she was fully funded.
It sounds like Dan Vask doing his impersonation of Biden. Dan, are you still here?
Tom Shalhoub never looked so good. But enough with the malarkey. Let's bring out the real former president.
The people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us. He put in a full day, and then at night I'd be in bed, reading my book, and he was still on the phone reading his briefings.
Okay.
Working with staff. I mean, it was nonstop. I did not create a cocoon around him. I didn't have him, sequestered in some place.
Was that hurtful to you when they were describing you as Lady Macbeth and all of
Yes,
those?
it was very hurtful.
Joey, it's actually Lady McBiden. All right, correct yourself, please.
It's Dr. Lady McBiden.
Yeah, Dr. Lady McBiden. Joe Biden looked so upset there. Was it because he thought that Jill was talking about another man?
You think he looked up? I thought he looked asleep. He was just kind of had the stare.
Same
He had
face.
the old man stares. He was just looking, saw something. He just focused in on it. He's like, "Don't fall out of the chair. Don't do it." That's all. It's easy to make fun of. I guess when you get out of the presidency, you're supposed to go give speeches for $100,000 at a time and enjoy it. I don't think he can do that. I don't think there's an audience for it. Maybe for Jill though, which is kind of funny.
Well, that's interesting because there is talk that they're going to sell the his and hers autobiographies for $30 million. It's half what the Obamas got, but that hers actually might be a little bit more interesting because she kept a diary every day, Jesse.
What is it with the Bidens and the diaries?
They
They should stop writing stuff down. Yeah,
daughter.
those two are definitely writing it. It's not ghostwritten at all. Not a chance. Now, if you're a man, a real man, Kennedy, The View should not love you. The View doesn't like real men. So if the fact that Biden goes on The View and they adore him says a lot about Joe Biden. And I'm feeling like Dr. Jill is like Jordan Hudson, like Belichick's girlfriend, constantly running interference, constantly interrupting everybody, managing him. And it seems like Biden feels like OJ felt after the trial. It's like everybody knows you're bad. Everybody knows you did it. No one wants to be seen with you. This is the only show in this country that will sit down and actually like Joe Biden. That's what it says. He says that he knew she was going to lose, Kamala Harris. Well, then why did he bow out? If you knew she's going to lose, why didn't you stay and fight if you thought you could have beat Trump? So that was a lie. Or if you knew she was going to lose because the country's sexist, why'd you pick her as vice president? Because you were supposed to hand off this thing to the vice president. So why would you pick someone who you knew the country hated and was going to reject? Also, doesn't make any sense. When Bush left office, he was also unpopular. Not this unpopular, but unpopular. But he left with class and dignity. He said, I knew what I needed to do with the war on terror. I knew it was right. I stuck to my guns and will let history judge. This guy is disgraceful. He should just never go back on television ever again. He was already diminished, but his legacy is just, it's even worse now.
All right, so Dana, he has hired a crisis PR person, a political insider he used to work with, who
By the way, George W. Bush can burn in hell.
is now shifted gears, as you do, because you always have to have a revenue stream when you leave politics. Sure. So what is the point of them going out there? Is it just to craft a narrative against the multitude of books that are coming out talking about his cognitive decline?
I think certainly they have, they have a lot of costs, right? In the post-presidency.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not getting the invitations to give the speeches that Joey's talking about, obviously. And like, remember he gave one speech and it was not good. And I can see why the Democrats are somewhat vocal now about not needing to hear from them again, but they are convinced that they need to. And the guy that they hired, great guy, like nice guy. In fact, I think his mom watches the 5, so hello to you, Mrs. Mayor. But I kind of feel it's like Groundhog Day with Joe Biden. Like every time he comes up, they see a shadow and then it's another 6 weeks of bad press. And then Jill acts like the last soldier on the island after the war is over. She's like, no, actually, everything's still fine. Everything's great. We're still fighting. Everything's good. There were 50 sources who were talking to the press saying how bad it was. And they weren't Republican sources. They were sources inside the White House and in and around the campaign. So I think that it's not off to a great start, and it probably will end even worse.
Yes, and it was almost hard watching Dr. Jill intervene when she was like, "Did those?" To Dana's point.
I love the chat. Dana's looking old, but I'd still do her, says S. Becker. I mean, Dana Perino's a good-looking woman, so she's definitely a good-looking woman. I can't quote it perfectly. I can't. I've talked about this before, but I love the internet so much because, what's her name? Kate Middleton? Is that her name? Kate Middleton? Is Kate Middleton the what is she, a fucking queen or a princess or some shit? What is she? Whoever's married to the prince, I don't know the royal family. But didn't Kate Middleton, she got like diagnosed with cancer or something like that, correct? Am I correct about that? I'm really bad with royal family stuff. So, Duchess, okay. So, back when Kate Middleton, you remember, so I guess people that follow this stuff, and man, the people that follow this stuff are passionate about it. So, I'm probably going to butcher something in the timeline. I feel like she was making very few public appearances, and then it went to a point where she stopped making public appearances, and then the paparazzi and the speculation was that something horrible was going on, and the intensity around it got so bad that she finally had to make a public statement saying that she was going through this, terrible health scare and all of that. And I'll never forget, there was a comment on Twitter. I mean, this was like the most viral thing ever. This woman, who's this royalty, and she puts this video out. It's mega viral. There's hundreds of millions of views. There's millions of interactions. And I just remember one comment under her video, and it says, "Kate, you don't know who I am, but I'm sorry you're going through this. And I just want you to know that under the circumstances you're under, I'm still willing to have sex with you." I'm just like, and it wasn't like, it was very matter of fact, like, I'm presenting this option to you. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, yo, girl, what's up? He was saying it very seriously, like, I'm willing to still have sex with you. I'm just like, what? Like, and I was fascinated by it because I'm like, does he think he has a chance, or is he trolling? I need to know. Like, I need to know if this is a troll or if he thinks that she might hit me up in the DMs. I will never forget that. I don't know who this guy is. I don't remember what the tweet is, but I need to know, did he really think that he had a shot, or was he trolling? I'll never know the answer, unfortunately. Damn. Let's see. G&G Play Highlight says, what on earth was that troll across from Crockett? I don't know, and I don't think any of us want to know, to be fair. Brian Stewart says, DNC graveyard, Biden, Clinton, and Pelosi has given up. No strategy to win, just milking it all dry and leaving the DNC squad to a dead husk. Good. That's actually true. It's weird because the DNC has been controlled by these old leftists for so long that they have not done anything to bring. It's almost like anything else. It's like professional wrestling, or it's like the NFL, or it's like any sport out there. You have your old stars, and you need to breed new, younger stars that are going to carry on the next generation. And the Democratic Party has nobody that you think could be the next phase of that. They have absolute idiots. So these old people, these old leftists have held on to the power in the party for so long, and they're not willing to relinquish any of it. And because of that, they're suffering massively now. And this is how you get a Jasmine Crockett and an AOC that are at the forefront of the next generation of your party. Yeah, you do have Newsom. That's right. Newsom is one. But I think, man, I'll be honest. When Newsom had that debate against DeSantis, I was astonished at how bad Newsom was. I expected Newsom to be sharp and cunning and manipulative, and he crashed bad in that debate versus DeSantis. He crashed really bad. That was shocking. I was not prepared for that one. So that makes me look at Newsom in a lot different light now. So, Patrick Bateman vibes. Man, that video, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Gavin. If I can find this. Is that working okay? It's a good video if I can find it. It may have gotten taken down. I know I put one up too, but I want to find the other one. It's a Gavin Newsom American Psycho video. I may just play the one where... Is this it, maybe? No. Looks like it was taken down or something. There's a really good Gavin Newsom American Psycho video. Let me put Patrick Bateman, maybe, and see if that works. This is it. Here we go, I think. Okay. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but man, this is good. This is really good. This will, like, if you, like, Gavin Newsom is a horrible person. Here we go. If you've seen him, first of all, to appreciate this, you have to have seen American Psycho. So I want to preface it right there. American Psycho, in my opinion, is arguably Christian Bale's greatest acting performance. And Christian Bale is one of the greatest actors that has ever lived. And I think American Psycho might be his best performance ever. So if you've seen American Psycho, you will appreciate this.
I live in the American Gardens building on West 81st Street, on the 11th floor. My name is Patrick Bateman. I'm 27 years old. I believe in taking care of myself, in a balanced diet, and a rigorous exercise routine. In the morning, if my face is a little puffy, I'll put on an ice pack while doing my stomach crunches. I can do 1,000 now. After I remove the ice pack, I use a deep pored cleanser lotion. In the shower, I use a water-activated gel cleanser. Then a honey almond body scrub. And on the face, an exfoliating gel scrub.
I'm not going to play the whole thing because I'll get copyright hit on it. But I put one up as well on this channel. If I can find it. This was during the California wildfires. I think Hailstorm did this one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so here's mine right here.
I live in the American Gardens building on West 81st Street, on the 11th floor. My name is Patrick Bateman. I'm 27 years old. I believe in taking care of myself, in a balanced diet, and a rigorous exercise routine. In the morning, if my face is a little puffy, I'll put on an ice pack while doing my stomach crunches. I can do 1,000 now. After I remove the ice pack, I use a deep pored cleanser lotion. In the shower, I use a water-activated gel cleanser. Then a honey almond body scrub. And on the face, an exfoliating gel scrub. Then I apply an herb mint facial mask, which I leave on for 10 minutes while I prepare the rest of my routine.
Hailstorm did a good job of this one. I think it was Hailstorm, but whoever edited this one did a good job of making his mannerisms line up with the words.
I always use an aftershave lotion with little or no alcohol because alcohol dries your face out and makes you look older. Then moisturizer. Then an anti-aging eye balm followed by a final moisturizing protective lotion. There is an idea of a Patrick Bateman, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory. And though I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, I simply am not there.
Great job. Yeah, Hailstorm confirmed it was him, so great job, Hailstorm, on that one, man. Great work, for sure. Let's see. Dead Inside says, let's talk about Yay. Objectively Cat says the problem with the Democrats' next generation is that they're all various flavors of clinically insane and laughably ineffective. That is true. That is true. They really are, man. I mean, or listen, or we could just talk about her. Oh boy, Letitia James, cross-eyed crazy.
And you want me to sit in my seat and stand idly by and allow this craziness to happen? You could come after me if you want, but you elected me to stand up. You elected me to use the law. You elected me to go to court. You elected me to continue to challenge this administration. You elected me to stand up for the least of God's children. You elected me to continue fighting on, and I will fight on. And you want me.
My God, that is tough to watch. That is tough to watch. I don't even want to watch it again. It's that bad. Good God. Holy shit. That's unbelievable. Let's see here. What is that one? No, that's not worth going. All right. So much going on, man. Let me see if there was any other stories I had pulled up. Again, I wasn't even planning on going live tonight, but it's just too damn fun to not go live. I mean, come on, man. Oh, here we go. I didn't see this one. Let's see. Ooh, can barely hear it.
But I just find there's a great deal of irony in Rick.
Oh my God, Bakari Sellers is one of the most cringe people. Can you guys hear this?
That's Hamilton, not Les Mis. That's Hamilton, not Les Mis. But I just find there's a great deal of irony in Rick Grinnell's and hypocrisy. Irony is not the word, because Republicans, you guys have run on this really weird. You've kind of confiscated the word woke, and now it's like we're anti-woke and we're pro First Amendment and against that and cancel culture and all of this.
Is it too quiet? I could barely hear it. I can hear it only in one of my ears, so I guess we're not going to react to that one. Let me see if I can find a different clip of it. But yeah, that clip was not good. That was not a good clip. Daily Caller, come on, man. What are we doing here? Look at Defiant L. Oh, I think Colin Rugg. God, look at this. Colin Rugg is one of the best follows on Twitter. Look at the picture he puts up with the video where Trump's talking about booty gag. He puts the picture of them riding their bikes. Look at these gay ass bikes. It's the gayest fucking bike I've ever seen.
And when they took over, Buttigieg, who has no clue, he drives to work on his bicycle with his, in all fairness, with his husband on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship. But
I can't stop laughing about it, dude. Because this is the genius of Trump. All right. The genius of Trump is that he just disrespected this man. He basically just made fun of him for being gay, but he called it a nice, loving relationship. So when they try to use it against him, they can't.
And when they took over, Buttigieg, who has no clue, he drives to work on his bicycle with his, in all fairness, with his husband on the back, which is a nice, loving relationship. But he didn't have a clue. This guy didn't have a clue. And he's actually a contender for president. Between him and Crockett, you can have that party. But he didn't know what he was doing.
Oh God, that is freaking great. I love the internet so much. I really do. All right, let me see. D-Day McCling says, Ivan just put out a video. Might want to check it out. It's about 18 to 20 minutes. I watched it. I even sent him a message like, you have my phone number. Like, I'm sorry I didn't respond to a message like once, but if people want to make videos about me and pretend I'm something, that's their business. So, Objectively a Cat says the problem with the Democrats' next generation is that I got that one. Fantastic Knox says, is Tish James going through menopause? She's so angry. Yes, she is. Storm Shadow says Al Sharpton as a woman with a law degree is Letitia James. This is very true. This is very true. But yeah, we're going to end it there because I got to get to work. I got to make videos for the Main Geeks and Gamers channel. I wasn't sure if I was going to go live tonight, but always happy to go live on a Thursday, catch up with all of you guys and gals, see how you're doing. I'll be live tomorrow night for CobraCast, so be on the lookout for that. And I will have videos on the Main Geeks and Gamers channel tonight as well. So hopefully you guys will check that out, have those notifications turned on. And I've had a lot of fun. So let me see. Take care, Jeremy and Jeremy. Jeremy just misses the chat. How could I not miss the chat? How could I not? All right. But anyway, I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll talk to all of you later.